Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith, and welcome to my view from the 40. I am back at home after tonight's Red Blacks game. I've got my Timmies in hand, and I'm currently thawing off. Okay, slight exaggeration, it wasn't that cold tonight. Not as cold as I expected to be on the 20th of November for the Eastern Final, but we'll get to that in a moment. Now, of course, tonight's game meant absolutely nothing to the Ottawa REDBLACKS. It already clinched first place in the East, and they, of course, are going to be hosting the Eastern Final at TD Place on the 20th of November. But you still have to go through the motions. You know who this game did matter to? The Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Although when the game started, you wouldn't know it because Winnipeg didn't exactly play like they were starting all of their starters. An early pick six to start the game, and they found themselves down. The game was actually pretty close until late in the game. With some garbage time points, Winnipeg was able to pull away and get the victory. My analysis of this game is pretty much as follows. As far as what Ottawa did, Ottawa rested so many of their starters, so they treated this game the way they should. I know a lot of people are thinking to themselves, oh, this is going to be the first time an Eastern team wins with a losing record, but Coach Campbell's not a crazy person. He understands that this game was meaningless. Why in the world would you risk the health of any of your starters over a pointless game? No, my big observation from this game was if Winnipeg is playing like this in the playoffs, Winnipeg's not going to last very long in the playoffs. Now, tonight's game had so many rippling effects through the other games this weekend. So first of all, Edmonton's game right now doesn't mean anything. Edmonton can now rest their starters, feeling comfortable with the fact that they know that they are going to have to cross over and play the Hamilton Tiger Cats next weekend. So Edmonton's in a position of, why put anybody at risk? The BC Lions do have something to play for because if BC beats Saskatchewan tomorrow, that means BC will host the Western semifinal. However, if BC loses to Saskatchewan, that means that BC will have to make the trip to Winnipeg in the Western semifinal. So it's very interesting how that's going to all play out. As far as the Ottawa REDBLACKS are concerned, listen, they looked fantastic last week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and I'm very confident in their abilities to take on whoever is coming to TD Place and have a lot of great success. I've been saying this a couple of times and I'll say it again. Everybody seems to think it's a foregone conclusion that whoever crosses over, well, not whoever anymore, when Edmonton crosses over, Edmonton's going to walk through Hamilton. I don't think so. I think this is going to be, again, Hamilton has nothing to play for this weekend, so they can rest their starters as well. But I think that if you look at the history, the crossover team has very minimal success in the crossover game, so keep that in mind. Now, if you are going to be, quite frankly, at any stadium, but especially at TD Place, do what I did. Bundle up. Get yourself a nice toque. Got a little pom-pom here. And then go out and get yourself a nice scarf as well. Look at that. Eat your heart out, Jude Law. So let's talk about a couple of things now. The playoffs are just around the corner. There's a lot of exciting things that are going to be happening as we hit the road to the Grey Cup. And again, I'm not convinced that Calgary's going to be there in the end. Everybody's like, oh, give Calgary the Grey Cup. No, don't give Calgary the Grey Cup. Because I think BC is going to end up playing Calgary in the Western Final. I think that's going to be fantastic. And whoever Ottawa plays, I'm not sure if it's going to be Hamilton. I'm not sure if it's going to be Edmonton. But either team, they're going to have their work cut out for them. Until then, I also want to take a moment and say that in a game that meant absolutely nothing for the REDBLACKS, the REDBLACKS cheer and dance team didn't look at it that way, and they busted out some fresh new moves, wouldn't you know? Beatboxing some hip-hop and just dancing up a storm. And what a phenomenal group of individuals our REDBLACKS cheer and dance team are. And in the cold, too, there were a lot of people who were like, by the fourth quarter, like, okay, we're out of here, we're freezing. And, I completely appreciate that. Tonight's game might not have meant a lot, but it always means a lot to the cheer and dance team who want to do everything they can to make sure that we as fans are entertained. So, I take my hat off to you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought about tonight's game and let me know what you think of the upcoming playoffs. Let's chat about it, shall we? CFL_fan on Twitter. That's how you can tweet me. Facebook.com/Witty Whittier and WittyWhittier.com. Thank you so much for checking out this blog. My name is Keith, and that's my view from the 40.